Hi guys, Emmanuel here, Sales Ledger Tech Support. In this video, we are going to be continuing from where we ended in the last video, and it's going to be the last in a series of videos where I'm trying to explain to you guys how to get started with Sales Ledger. For you to find out if Sales Ledger can be actually important for your business, you understand, because we know Sales Ledger might not be good for all businesses out there, but we try our best to ensure it can actually cover most of your business expectations. So these videos are to help you to decide if you're going to go for the pro or if you want to go for payment, whatever, for you to be able to decide whether Sales Ledger can help you in your business. So in the last videos, we actually learned how you can set up your account with Google Sign In using your username and password, how to register, if you forgot your password, how to get that password, how to reset your password. Then we also looked into customers, how to add products, for example. You understand? You will look at how to add products. For example, here is my list of products. We saw how to create a business, of course. So we created a hair business. Of course, if you didn't watch the video, you can watch that. You're going to see all the steps, in detail, step by step. So we created two business. This was a sample business, but as you can see, this is our main business. So I taught you how to create business, how to go to settings, from the settings, you can be able to check a couple things. So you see from settings, you can be able to edit your slug, which is this stuff here, John Doe. I showed you how you can edit it, yeah. So you can change it easily, yeah. So John Doe, okay. So let's just be sure. All right, so you can change it, but I already have this, so I will not save that. Yeah, but you can change it. Also, we also looked at the beautiful shop which we created from public shop. So when you share your shop link, your users can see this beautiful shop. We also saw they can add items to cart, and we also saw if you're doing flash sales, they can also see the time left for the sales. They can see the old price and the new price, and we also saw they can add multiple items to cart. Okay, we saw they can be able to do this when they actually go to their cart. They can submit an order form. As we saw, a PDF will be generated, which they can as well download or they can view. So you can download the PDF and you see the order form. The order form is also sent to your email. So a copy of that form is sent to your email, as we saw. So here is the order form. Once they create an order, you receive an email and you have the attachment. Of course, you can download it from here and you can see it beautifully. So here is the order form. As you can see, you can also scan it. You understand? You can scan the QR code to check if it's valid. Here are the items. You can also see the flash sales and the percentage off. So that's it for your kind of shop, or you can call it your storefront. Yeah, so they can also send it to you. As you can see, send to seller. They immediately send, it opens WhatsApp, so they immediately send the link to you. Once they continue, it opens their WhatsApp and they can send the link to your number. Okay, yeah, so that's it. The shop is very helpful. Users can see exactly what they want. They can make their purchase. They can see things clearly. We add a number here, like a kind of watermark, so that they cannot be able to like snap the image and use it in their own shops. So it's just like a watermark, which is your number, just to add some authenticity to your images. And also, you see, if things are out of stock, we saw that you can add your items in your stock and all that stuff. So we also realized you can also go to catalog, from where you can decide which items should be visible in your shop. As you saw, you can decide which items should be visible in your store. You can hide items from being visible in your public shop. Maybe you want to be selling those items, but you don't want them to be visible publicly. You can do that. We also saw you can filter your items based on, the filter. Yeah, we fixed this. It was not working in the last video. Yeah, then we also saw you can also filter based on alphabetical order if you want, your categories also. And there's also another filter for categories which you can use and all that. So we saw the shop is very effective. So you come here to publish your shop. We saw that. You can watch the last video if you want more details on this. You saw your slug, which is your shop link. You can copy it and share it on social media. And like I said, when you paste it on any social media, give it some time for the preview of your shop to load. Your logo is going to load and everything. So it's very good for marketing. So from there, we are going to move to other complex tasks with Sales Ledger. So we understand our idea of Sales Ledger may not fit every business or might not have a full knowledge of the kind of fields or data you take in when recording a sale. So we added the concept of custom fields. So for example, let's say you're selling a car, you may have the color, the number of doors, whether it's 4-wheel drive. You may have several options to your products. So normally when you add a product, you see we only give you the name, the price, the buying price, selling price, and stock. You understand? So you see product name, description. So you may want more than that, okay? Or even when you're adding a sale, you see we have, when you have record a new sale, the only items you provide are the product name, the quantity, and the price. That's all. So we added the notion of custom fields where you can add your own fields. You understand? So for that, you need to go to products, as you can see. So once you go there, you go to edit product, and you can add a custom field. So custom fields are very simple, are unique properties to your item. So for example, this is a hair shop. So custom field can be, let's just add all the custom fields. So the first custom field, you can add a text. You can add anyone, but we have 4 options. So let's call this custom field comments. You understand? Then we have another custom field. Let's call this, we can add a number. Let's call this inch because it's hair shop. You can use anything based on your shop, okay? Your own demands or your own, what you need for your shop. You can add those custom fields. You understand? We believe these 4 types of custom field can serve most of the purposes. So of course you have another one. You can add, we have drop down. So this can be yes or no, true or false, you know. So you see these are yes or no. We can call this, let's say, human. I want to say human hair, or brand new. Let's just say brand new. So we are going to say true or false. So let's just say true. So you know you can change it false. So we are going to add this. So you can add default values to this. You understand? You can add default values to this, but you don't need to worry about putting the values here. You actually put the values when you're adding a sale, okay? So you don't need to worry about the values here. So let's go for the last custom field type. You can add, I think, up to 10 custom fields. So the last type we have is drop down, where you have a list of items. So let's say, for example, you have material, size, or color. Size can be extra large, if you're selling clothes. Material can be silk, wool, and all that stuff. But since it's hair, let's just say, let's just give it color. So let's just call the field name color, and you have to add options, okay? So the first option is black. Let's just say black, green, and red. Green, and the next option is red. You can add up to 10 items in your list, okay? So let's add this. So as you can see, we have 4 custom fields now, which is very, very important. You can see this list has our list of items which we just added, and from there we can move on. So let's update the product. So once you update the product, you see it has a number of custom fields here. So we're going to do that for another item. In this items, we are going to add, let's add a custom field. So since it's actually a product, we are going to call the first one, we are going to call it, let's say, amount, which can be the number of liters. So let's just say liters, and it's a text field, okay? So the next one is we are going to add, let's just add a yes no field called refillable. So let's just call the field name refillable. Yeah, so is refillable, yes or no? So let's just leave this default, but like you saw, we can use true or false. So now we have 2 custom fields. So we're just going to work with those 2 custom fields for these 2 products. So you can see now our products have 2 custom, this one has its custom field and this one has its custom field, as you can see. So where do you see custom fields? Now when you go to add new sale, you're going to see those custom fields there. So let's look for the 2 products which we actually added custom fields for. So let's first select a customer. Let's just select a random customer for this sale. You must select a customer for a sale, and let's choose Brazilian. As you can see, Brazilian has so this is where you see the custom field. So now we can set very good. Then inch, you can say, let's say 32 or 16 or 17 or 18, 22. Then let's look for brand new. Yes, color. You see, so these are the fields we just added. Okay, so it helps you to input more data to your items when you're adding them to sale. Okay, so in this case, let's complete this sale. Okay, and then the next one, we're going to add another sale, and in this case we are going to select another item which doesn't have all that stuff. Let's add 3 of these items, and we're going to add a new item. This is still in flash sale, but like I said, you can always put its normal price. Then let's add a new item. Let's add the candle. So we had liters, let's say 2 liters, and then refillable, yes. Okay, so just like I said, you can always choose yes or no, but refillable, yes. And then let's select this card payment completed, yes. Maybe we can just add a small discount here for this person and confirm. So there we can now confirm the sale. So okay, we did not add the customer, which is very important, so we can complete the sale. All right, so now we have 2 new sales. As you can see, we can already track the profit we have made for this sale, and you can now view it. If you view it, what you're going to see is you're going to see those items which we just added, and you're going to see it for each item. You can see now those fields. Apart from just the price, the quantity, you can see liters too, and you can see the other field, which is yes, refillable, yes. Now if you go to the last one, this one, you're going to see also those items. So as you can see, apart from just what we have, you can see comment, very good. You can see inch 22, brand new. So this is very important. It actually helps you to record more data, more metadata with your sales. Okay, it also helps not only in this area, but it also helps when you're printing a receipt. So for example, if we have these receipts and we let's say we want to print it, of course you can always print a receipt. Here is print, you can always print a receipt. Like I said, there's a more advanced setup on the Android app if you're using the Android app, where you can select the printer and all that. But you can see it actually shows you those fields. Okay, you can see it actually shows you those fields here. You can see the fields here. Comment, very good. So it's actually right on the receipt. So it helps you to be able to add other things like size, like I said. So in that case, you can also see for this. Let's see for this. You can also see the receipt. So you can see here we have this item. You see this one did not have any custom field, so it's just on its own. But this one, we have liters, we have 2, then we have refillable, we have yes. So it's very important. You can use it. It can be part of your receipts, and it helps you to be able to add other metadata to your sales. So moving on, let's look at the last aspect of this video, which I was talking about, which we are going to be looking at. You have to go to settings. Now those are custom fields for each item. Now we have sale-wide custom fields. Let me say for every sale you want to record the location. Okay, you can add up to 5. So for example, location of the user, you understand, and it's a text field, and you can say visible sales form visibility. We are going to see what this means, but it just means that should it be visible on the receipt or not. So for by default it's visible, so we're going to add this. Then the next, we are going to add another field. So we are going to add another field called home delivery, yes or no. So this is going to be not a text field, but we are going to use a list, a checkbox. So we are going to write home. The name is home. So we can have it positive text is yes, or true or false. You can actually set it yourself, yes or no. So by default it's yes or no. Then the last one, we can just add last bus stop. So last bus stop, or let's just call it, so we can use the checkbox, let's call it rider fee. Okay, so rider fee. So we are going to add what is it? Okay, it should be a list, so that we can add the options. So we can say the first rider fee can be 2,000 naira. You don't need to add the currency since it's just a text. The next one can be, let's say 1,000, 3,000, and then we can say the next one is 5,000. So that's it. So we can add this. Let's see. All right, so you can make this to be visible or not. We are going to see that. So we have now what we call sale wide fields, custom field. Now for every sale, you can now add that custom field. Now you can even edit a sale. If I'm not mistaken, you can edit a sale and you're going to see those sale wide custom fields now there. So now you can decide if they should be visible in the receipt or not. So in this receipt, you're going to see they're not going to be visible. Okay, so if I update this sale and I look into, or let's look for a sale. Let's look for a sale. Okay, let's use this. So let me see whether this is the sale which I actually okay, close. So let me edit this sale, and okay, they're not visible for this sale. Now let's make them visible for this sale and add and put enter text for them. So for this location, we can just say Lagos State, or another way just to say let's just put Oshodi. Let's put a more so home delivery, yes. Fee, you see now we can select among what we added. Let's just give 3,000 and let's update the sale. Now I think this was the sale. Now if you view it, I don't think you see it here. Okay, you may not see it here, but if you print the receipt, like this, you should see it down here. Okay, so as you can see, location Oshodi, home delivery, yes, rider fee. Okay, so that's how it works here. So I just wanted to see how it actually shows up on your receipt. Okay, so if we can go to one of the sales which we had already registered, I just wanted to see it in place. So we can go to this sale, and all right, but so now if you go to this sale and you don't want it to be visible, you want to print this receipt but you don't want this to be visible, you can do like this. And of course, if you have the PDF, it's not supposed to be visible. Let's see, we can't be sure. Okay, yeah, so you see we don't have that additional information. It's not visible, you understand, for this receipt. Okay, but for any other receipt that we want it to be visible, we just need to enable it. Okay, so in this one, for example, let's say this same receipt, we can decide for it to be visible. So we are just going to edit and change the visibility to become visible. So for this, let's say we are considering Kano State, we can put a location like this, home delivery, and let's say this one pay 2,000. So update sale. Okay, and then we are going to look at we are going to get the PDF here, as you can see. So you see location Sagbo, and you can see home delivery, and you can see rider fee. Okay, so that's just one of the purpose of it. Actually different, as you can see, the item custom fields are for a specific item, but the sale wide custom fields appear as additional information on your receipt. Like I said, we have a more enhanced receipt for the Android phone, which is very enhanced. So if you want a receipt better than this, you can use the Android phone. We're also going to fix the receipt here on the web later on, but we are using web API, so it's a bit difficult to make it really look good. Okay, so that's it for this. So moving on, we are going to close this, and I'm just going to round up with the general features of the app. So like I said, Sales Ledger actually helps you to be able to track every instance of your sales. Okay, everything about your sales. Very, very important for business, because for example, we are already able to know how much we made on this sale. Regardless of within the number of items in the sale, we're already able to know our profit. We don't need to calculate the profit for each item. We already know for this sale we made this profit. Okay, as you can see. So very, very important. Like I said, you can sort by customer, descend. You can use this to do descending. So by amount, you can say our highest sale. Use this. So you see, this is the highest sale. This is our lowest sale. Okay, so profit, we can use profit. This is our highest profit. I think let's see. This is our highest profit. This is our ascending order. This is our lowest profit. So you can always do that. By default is arranged by date. So always know we show you by the date the sales for the past 2 months. So if you have been using the app for more than 2 months and you want to see past sales, you need to arrange this filter. This is the from date to the to date. So you need to send this backward if you want to see for the past 3-4 months and that. You understand? If you want to reset, you can clear the filter. So we are showing from March 1st to May 31st, which is today's date. Okay, so as you can see, so you see our profits and all that stuff, which is very, very important. Like I said, only you can see this profit. As you have seen from the receipts, there's no profit shown in the receipt. Okay, they only see their total. You don't say anything about profits here. Okay, nothing about profits here. Okay, so they only see the total which you have sold. So profit is only seen by you, the seller. Okay, you can go here and see the details of your sale. As you can see, so profit is only seen by you, the seller. Here you can see the full amount of your profit. Okay, so that's it. All right, so now like I said, you can also go to products and you can see your products. Okay, so we have done a few adjustments here. If you watch the previous videos, we have added some stuff like by profit. You can now filter your products by profit, so you can see the highest profit, next followed by this and all that. So you can also filter by date added. So if this is the oldest, I think this is the most recent. So we'll reverse it and put the most recent to be at the top. So probably by the time you watch this video, the most recent will be at the top. Okay, so you can also see the categories which you have, and you can click here to go to settings and manage the categories. So you can go here, like I said, and add more category just to make your shop to look good. As you can see, because you can filter stuff here by category, your users can filter. Remember, this is a public shop, anyone can access it. You know, once you share the link with them, everybody can access it. Okay, so your social medias are here. They can contact you directly on their WhatsApp. If you added the other social medias in settings, they can contact you through those social medias. They're going to appear here, and also they're going to appear here. So like you see, these are your social medias which you can set. If you set all your social media here, as you can see, we only have WhatsApp here. You can set TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and all the rest. Here you can set your address. As you can see here, you have your name of your business, and here you have your business description, and here you have your address. That's what we see on the receipts and every other stuff. That's what we see. Like as you can see in your shop, this is your name of your business, this is the description, and this is the address. So that's what, this is your number and this is your email. Yes, for now you can't change the email. It shows the email which you registered with, but we are going to make a provision where you can add an email as part of your social media link. So you can add, you'll be able to add an email here, but for now we don't have an email, but you're going to be able to add it. So that's soon, probably before you actually watch this video. So that's it. So that's where you set up all these stuff which appear on your receipt and on your every document where you have your business name there. You can also delete your account, like we said, if you want, you know, but it's not compulsory. You know, you can export your data. If you want to delete your account, you may want your data, you can export it, and here you can see our terms of service, and here you can contact us. So that's it. Like I said, Sales Ledger can be used anywhere, on your mobile phone, on the desktop, on the browser, with almost the same experience, even though we have some more advancement on the app, but the experience is almost the same. And like I said, these are some shortcuts. For example, you can record sales from here. You understand? You can record sales from here. You can add product, add customers, and then you can also open the quick calculator, which helps you to calculate very important stuff which fast, you understand, which many calculators don't even give you. So as you can see, you can calculate, do some advanced calculation there. And as you can see, we also have products, which actually shows you the product. We already looked at this, and we looked at flash sales, for example, which I want to show you now. You see, these items are in flash sales currently. Okay, so you can see in the last videos we learned how to set up flash sales, how to add items, how to add these images. So you can watch the last video if you want to, if you want to learn how to add all these, the importance of all these and all that stuff. So customers, of course, we also looked at customers, how to add customers, and you know, these are your customers. Now we have added filter. You can see filter customer by the amount they have spent. You can filter your customers by the number of orders they have done. So this has done 5 orders, the rest I think are 2. Yeah, and then you can also your most recent customers which were recently added. All our customers are recent, and then no others, customers which have not done any order. All our customers have done orders. Has email, doesn't has email. So you can also go to dashboard. Here is like your powerhouse where you have your figures, the amount you're making from your business. As you can see, here is our total revenue, what has come in the revenue. We have our net profit, then we have our total expenses, which we set up in expenses. You can go to tools. If you go to tools, you go to expenses, you can add expenses based on this. So as you can see, we added these expenses today, so we can't do any better. Like we will have filter for today, we can filter for yesterday, this week. Yesterday we had no expenses, you understand. This week we have had this expenses. So yesterday you just see from yesterday, you understand. But this week, today is part of this week, so of course. So these are expenses. Like you see, you can always edit your expenses, you understand. Friends and family, you understand. So you can always update your expenses, which is going to show updated at okay. Yeah, so very good. So expenses is very important for calculating, like as you saw, for calculating um your actual, what we call your net profits, because you can make half profit, but you also have other expenses like what you use for data, to buy data for your browsing and all that stuff. If you're running a business and you have internet fee, you can add all that to your expenses so that you can know the actual profit which you're making. That's your net profit after expenses. Okay, so this is our net profit we have made from this total revenue. This is our expenses. This is the total number of items we have sold. That's units, depending on the units. When I say items, not like single items, we mean, yes, single items actually. So the units are counted, and this is the total number of inventory items we have in our shop. We have 10 inventory items. So these are our recent sales. These are the most recent sales in the order which they were being added to this to our sales. And as you can see, these are the dates. All our sales were done today, so we don't have any. Most of our sales were done today. So as you can see, it's our top product. The highest demand. You can use this to track the demand of the product. So this Brazilian straight hair bundle have been in 4 sales. Remember, this is not about the unit. This is the number of sales in which the product has been part of. You understand? It actually has to do more with the demand. So 4 people have bought this. 3 people have bought this. We don't count the units here, just how many sales they were found in. So that's how we look at the top product. Here is just their prices, okay, the prices of one. So here is some advanced statistics which you can use for various things. So inventory health, you can use this to track if you have one out of stock item. So it just helps you to remember to add your items. Product metrics, this is how our products are doing. You can read this: high sale, high margin. Yeah, so some of these statistics can be complex. If you don't understand them, you don't need to worry, but we do well to give you an explanation of what this means and how it can help your business to track this. Very, very important for business. Some business which are very efficient, they use a lot of statistics. That's how you get ahead of other people or your competitors, by putting in statistics and technology into your business. So like we said, so yeah, you can also track the item performance, you understand. So you can see that these items have all sold. This item was sold, 4 of these items, you understand. It has been sold in 4 sales, while this has been sold in 3 sales, and this has been sold in 2 sales each. Okay, this is not the number of items sold, rather this is the number of sales in which the item has been part of. Very important. So but you can see just in 4 sales, like this has just 3 sales, but we made the highest amount of revenue. What's this? Curly hair closure. Okay, we made the highest amount of revenue. So it shows that this one, even though we had low sales, you see, it gave us a fair amount of revenue, you understand. So you can just use that to track the performance of your items. So you can read down here for each of them. Now, profit analysis is also very important. It actually helps you to know how much you'll be making from 7 days right up to 90 days. You can just filter it. It's going to be changing for you as you keep adding sales, but because most of our sales were added yesterday, you can see. So we have made the highest amount of profit from Peruvian, followed by Kinky, then Brazilian, then professional hair dryer. That's a tool, and so that's very good there. So as you can see, we have analytics, which is almost like the dashboard, but it's more advanced because you can use filter. So you can filter for 2 days, 7 days, 1 month, and all that stuff. So as you can see, we just have 2 days data here. With time, I'm going to be updating the store so that we can see how this changes. So expenses, as you can see, we have the expenses, net profit, after expenses. Then we have the net profit margin, from the last sale. And then we have from the last calculated margin. All this is more about like kind of accounting. Yeah, so then average order, this is when they take your total number of orders and divide it your total number of revenue and divide it by your number of orders. So you're going to have something like this. Here is the graph. Actually, we don't have today's data, we have only yesterday's data, because it actually plots at the end of the day. So you're going to see this. So this is very important. So you can see your top products. These are the products that have made the highest revenue. Revenue is including your the amount you spend for the product as well as the profit. So when you talk about revenue, you haven't subtracted the profit yet. It's just how much has come in. Okay. Yes. So as you can see, we have this amount of units, but this just shows you your highest product and how much top product. Top customers, of course, Chama is our top customer, 5 orders and all that stuff. So you can track your best customers. You may want to give them discounts or promo or gifts or whatsoever. Yeah, so as you can see, here was our top revenue products, revenue from the revenue we obtained, and here is our top profit product. So it must not always be the same. Okay, most times it's the same, but it must not always be the same. Okay, you can have high revenue but not profit. Okay, but in our case, high revenue equals to high profit. So as you can see, here is a comparison between revenue and profit. As you can see, revenue, profit. So you can just see everything in one place. Okay, so you can compare how much revenue you get as compared to profit. So here is our days of sale. Of course, we explained this in the last videos. We explained the difference between this and this, which is very important. So this just has a cumulative of our best days of sale. Some people sell well on Mondays and Fridays, while this is for the current week, what we have sold. As you can see, we started selling yesterday, Friday, and today is Saturday. So this is the current week. On a Monday, we are just going to see data for Monday. Okay, so but this is a accumulation of all the weeks, your best days in every week. Yeah, then this is just your cash distribution, you can see transfer, and all that stuff. So yeah, you can just use to track where you should be expecting money from. If somebody is working for you, you should know how much you should see on your card account, bank transfer account, and how much they should give you cash. Okay, so here, as we saw, is our catalog, which we have looked at already at the beginning of this video, where you can actually set items for your public shop. And yeah, if you want to subscribe, of course, for our service, you can actually check here. You have a 30 days free plan. So I created this account yesterday, so I still have 30 days. There's 1 day of grace. Here you can choose your bank account, your card. You can subscribe with the card wherever you are. All right, so then for tools, we have different tools. We have AI business assistance, which is going to be very important. It's going to use your business data to give you important insights. So we are going to be using AI tools, which are going to be able to give you insights based on your data. Okay, your data of your business. So you can ask them questions on whether you can go on with a sale, and all those stuff. Very, very important. We are going to add it soon. And then we have expense tracker, which is very important. We have looked at this. Then we have price list generator, very important. We looked at this in the last video. As you can see, you can generate a price list. So I'm just going to view this. Yeah, I'm going to view this now. So I'm just going to view this now. And so as you can see, here is the price list which we generated. This price list, I think they actually expire after 48 hours. You understand? Because your price can change, so we can't keep them permanently. Okay, so that's it for the price list generator. So you can generate your price list, and you can search. So the next tool is calculator. Like I said, we have a bonus calculator for you for doing your complex calculation. Yeah, but if you're on sales and you want to do a calculation, you can also use this dialog calculator, which appears over everything on your screen. Yeah, so if you want to do some small calculations anywhere on your screen, you can always use this calculator. Okay, you can also change to dark mode. For the rest of the video, we are going to be using dark mode. So the next part is actually verify. You can verify. As you can see, receipts and order all have QR code. Receipts and orders. Okay, so you can verify both a receipt and an order. I think the Android app has a different view, which is more sophisticated than this. Not really sophisticated, but it looks easier to use because you just have 2 tabs up here, QR code and using reference number. So you can use either the reference number of an order to verify, just to be sure if the user has not forged it, it's not fraudulent. Okay, then notifications, of course, is where you see all your notifications over time. Yeah, so These are all the notifications which we have loaded over time. And we have the ones which are not expired. Okay, so you can check all your notifications here. And then we have, let's see, we have settings, of course, which we have already explained. Settings, you can set up your slug, which is your shop link, and you can set up every other aspect, your social media accounts. So when your shop is public, you cannot delete a number. That's why you see this star here. Yeah, you can only delete a number when your shop is not published. Okay, if you try to delete this number here, it will be rejected. You understand? So you cannot do that. So you can only do it when your shop is not published. So if you want to delete your WhatsApp number, you need to go to your catalog and actually unpublish your shop here. Okay, so but you can change it, of course, but you cannot delete the number, but of course you can change the number. So here is where you set custom fields, and here is where you set your user preferences. Very, very important. You can delete your business. If this is my shop, a particular business, you can delete the business, and here you can delete your account. But you need to be very careful with this because it's irreversible. You cannot, once you delete your account, you cannot get it back. And once you delete the business, you delete all the data, you cannot get that data back. Okay, so your settings, switch business, here is where you switch business. Okay, and here is where we have help. So you're going to see our videos at the bottom here. Yes, later on you're going to see a link to our videos, but this is your help where you can contact us via email or via WhatsApp. All right, so I hope you find Sales Ledger useful for your business. We try our best to add more features as time goes on. So based on your recommendation, if any of you feel like there's a business, there's a service which you want us to offer here, or an option or a tool, you can just let us know. We are going to include that as long as you see it's quite important for a business. So thank you for staying up to this time, and I hope you enjoy your usage of Sales Ledger. You can always contact us if you see any errors, any mistakes, inconsistency, or if you want us to make some improvements, you can just tell us. Okay, so waiting to hear from you, and we hope you have a nice time while using Sales Ledger. Have a beautiful time, and goodbye.